go time. It's go time. Hello, Illinois. Upstate New York is here. And today, we're going to do things a little bit different. We sit around and talk all the time. But it's time to talk about survival caches. Right, Livingston Man? Oh, yeah. Livingston Man has his GoPro head cam on. And we are simul-streaming to Facebook right now. So
if you're here with us on Facebook, I have the phone in my pocket and I can't hear what you're saying. I got no comments there, so thanks for watching. But unfortunately, I'm really not going to pay that much attention to you.
Tammy McDermott. Let's see.
We have a new special guest as well who...
Yeah, the voice is here with us.
We're going to try and...
The voice is going to be monitoring the chat. And when you guys pop up with a question, he is going to shout it out over everything that I'm saying and talking. So I guess the big question here is, can you guys see me? Everything look good? Does it sound good? I've got the lapel mics on tonight, and I just want to make sure they're working good, that you can hear myself, you can hear the Livingston Man. Yeah, we're flying by the seat of our pants here tonight.
We got a lot going on, everybody.
Yeah,
we got a lot going on. If you're with me on Facebook, don't mind me. You get to be me. You're living through me.
This is going to be kind of a moving live stream. This is just station 1 for tonight. So station 1, we are going to actually build one of these PVC cache tubes. My good buddy, Old Mutt, donated this cache tube to me to show off to you guys and pack with all kinds of goodies. And if you come to the Bug Out Bag weekend, you might actually find this cache in the woods. So if your bag is packed light or something fails, there's going to be a cache out there in the woods for folks if they need it. I'm not going to give out the location just yet, but if you need it, you'll be able to find it. It'll be out there. And you guys are going to help me pack it. And we're going to talk about things that we should put inside of one of these survival caches. Now, caches generally are kind of drop points between you and your bug out location, or something that you're going to kind of go ahead and put in your bug out location and kind of leave them there. And that way, even if you show up and there's somebody in the house that you're supposed to be staying in, you can still access some important items from outside of that dwelling somewhere on the property, perhaps. Now, the thing with survival caches and the Great Northeast is winter. If you bury one of these things in the dirt and you bury it about 2 feet down, and all of a sudden it's January and the shit just hit the fan, and you're running low on supplies and you've made it to your first survival cache. Now you got to dig this thing up. You're going to bring a pickaxe with you to really try and chop through all that ice to be able to get to this thing and hopefully be able to pull it out of the frozen earth. There's some different methods for this. You don't necessarily have to bury this thing in the dirt. You can absolutely brush these in and camouflage them really well. Obviously, they're a little bit more prone to being found. And guys, you can hide these things in plain sight alongside a building, someplace where a pipe like this would not look out of place. Or y'all have seen these sticking up out of the ground here and there, right? Just a clean out cap, no big deal. Maybe you bury it and you leave the cap exposed right up alongside the foundation. Could work, guys. You know, hide it in plain sight. Doesn't necessarily have to be camouflaged. Sometimes it itself is the camouflage. So something to think about. This is a 6-inch PVC cleanout. This is actually the cap that's on this big monster here. So I've got one loose so I can show you. Here, you unscrew it. The bummer is this thing is huge, and when you really put this down, you're going to need some sort of a tool to be able to take this sucker off when you eventually do get it up and out of the ground, right? So you're not going to be able to muscle that with your hands to get this thing off. Not as tight as you need it to be watertight. You know, this is just hand tight, no problem. I can kind of muscle it and back it off. But when you're wrestling this great big giant pipe and trying to unscrew this thing, you're going to want a wrench to be able to do it. And most people don't carry a wrench that's big enough to go over this. I mean, that's almost 2 inches in diameter there, guys. So that's a big wrench. You're going to need a substantial tool to do this. But there's another way. There's another way, Livingston Man. And the way is right here in the end of this pipe already. This is what we call a test plug. This has a wing nut on it. And right by hand, I can open, I can close, no problems. It expands, they push together and they push that piece of rubber out there. And it expands it and it fits in the center of the pipe and keeps it really, really snug. So when you crank this sucker down, it puts pressure out and makes it watertight, guys. And I don't need a tool to do this to get it off the end of the pipe. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, what about the threads on the end? Well, if you take one of these big old 6-inch PVC caps and you sneak it right over the end and you don't glue it on, you can protect the whole entire end of this thing and kind of double down on your waterproofness, I guess you'd say. But yeah, let's get to priming some pipes, shall we?
Let's talk about first. All right, now these are fucking huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you got here?
So
what are you talking about? What is this? What is
this? Is Schedule 40 6-inch PVC. This stuff is...
You get this at the hardware store?
Not a typical hardware store. You're going to want to go to a plumbing supply store to pick this stuff up.
This is rather large. I mean, Williams Lumber might not have...
No, this is big enough to take some serious size items inside this cache. And, you know, you want to have a bunch of stuff when you guys get where you're going. And the PVC pipe, you bury it in the ground, it's going to stand the test of time. You guys have PVC pipe buried in the ground at your house right now, you just don't know it.
It's non-biodegradable, in other words?
Correct.
So let's break down the parts. So we have Schedule 40.
Schedule 40.
6-inch PVC?
6-inch PVC.
What about when you need 2 caps at least for this?
Yes, you're going to need one for each end. This guy is a little bit cheaper, believe it or not, than the clean out. This guy is extremely expensive. And I want to give a huge shout out to Freedom Plumbing and Heating in New Hampshire. They donated these fittings to me, and that's no short order, man. These things are expensive. They're extremely expensive, especially in a post-COVID world where things are kind of short. This thing can run you 80 bucks just about with the clean out and everything. This guy is more like 30 bucks. So it's great to be able to plug the end of this thing with something a little bit cheaper than this guy, and you don't need a tool.
If you thought the electrician was expensive, wait till you meet the plumber.
That's right. Wait till you meet the plumber. And Freedom Plumbing and Heating, guys, they really hooked me up with this. We've got 2 caps, the clean out, and this guy. What do we call it again? This is the
test valve, test plug.
Test plug. Test plug.
I was paying attention. Who else got it?
It's also called a couple other things, but if you generally ask somebody for a test plug, this is what you're going to get. Hey, everybody in the chat. I know I'm kind of far away from the camera, and we're doing this on location here, so it's really hard for me to see everything that's going on in the chat. But yeah, guys, I mean, so if you have this thing and you've got it packed and you've got it hidden really well and you get to it and you need to get it out, you're trying to wrestle a big 6-inch pipe that probably, I mean, if you stuff the right stuff in here, this thing could weigh over 100 pounds. Easy, easy. So to try and struggle and get this thing out of the mud and the muck, the Old Mutt solution, the Old Mutt is a wise man. He has put this pull handle on the end of this thing. And when you grab it and you pull it, it puts tension on it, and you can drag this sucker out of just about anywhere with a little pull strap on it. That's something obviously you want to tuck away underneath it and try and protect it from the elements. Hopefully it lasts as long as you need it to. You can also put these inside another pipe. If you guys have a culvert pipe or something like that, you can tuck this sucker inside the culvert pipe with maybe a couple small packs around it just to keep it nice and tight. And that'll help protect it also. So there's a lot of different methods to do this. This is one of many. So keep that in mind, guys. Do your research, do your research. So I guess we should probably start gluing some of these pipes, don't you think?
Now everybody's going to yell at you, you're not going to clean it and scrub it up.
Oh, well, of course I'm going to clean it, but I'm going to clean it with the chemical primer. We're going to prime it a few times. Now, I got a lesson over the phone from my friend. You know, he's all the way up in New Hampshire, so he calls me and he gives me the lowdown. I'm going to see if I can remember everything that he taught me about this and how to do it. So, fingers crossed. Steve the plumber, be with me. Be with me. Livingston, man, can you give me a hand and we get this sucker out of the way here?
Let's move this down.
Yeah, we're going to get this one out of the way. Now, it's not too awful heavy.
Even alone, I'll guess
empty.
that's 8 pounds. Just by itself. I'm bad at that. I don't know. I'm bad at that.
I'd say double.
I mean, give me this. I mean, the pipe alone has like some weight to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the fittings are super thick, so they're going to be
this fitting probably weighs half what this pipe does.
Yeah,
it's a big,
close.
thick piece of stuff here.
All right,
what do you want?
step one we do is we move everything out of the way. We don't want to drip any of this. This is all chemical stuff, guys. PVC primer. This is professional grade stuff, and you want to prime the crap out of this thing. Yeah, it definitely
does. That got good like VOCs in it?
Oh yeah, lots of them. Nothing better than plumber's glue, guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to do this in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to do this in your kitchen or your living room or locked in a garage like us. We're here for the free buzz, guys. So as you can see, as you wipe that primer on there, most of this stuff comes off. We're gonna do this a couple times and get this thing really clean because we want an incredible bond on this. Because we're going to put it in the ground, guys. I need this stuff to be good for you guys when you come to the event.
The last thing you want is to come back and find out your cache flooded 3/4 of the way to the top.
Exactly.
Of
and
water
everything's
table or
ruined.
whatever, you know.
And something we're going to talk about in a little bit here is how to kind of double down on protecting those things that you put inside this cache.
Yeah, that stuff's got some...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nothing better than when the plumber comes to work.
Boy, I'll tell you what, the rest of this live stream going to get stupid.
This is why the plumbers make so much money, guys.
They just are out in this own world of their own because they're just breathing this in all day.
That's right.
Like, what planet are you from? They're like, I don't know.
I'm from the planet of we cost too much.
Primer.
Can you give that a spin for me? We want to keep working right around the pipe here, guys, and
see, as all that crap's coming off, you can see.
Yeah, we've got the first layer of gunk off of this sucker, and we're just going to continue on with it.
I'm going to stand right here.
Yeah, it's great.
Just take that in.
It's great. So everybody on the live stream can tell all their friends that they came here to watch us get high on plumber's glue.
You guys on Facebook, you can probably see the fumes coming off.
Yeah, we want to say thanks again to Freedom Plumbing and Heating for this awesome PVC primer.
It's low VOC too, so you know the real shit be packing a punch.
Oh yeah.
This is like decaf primer. Still got some nerve to it.
All right, guys. So that's looking pretty good. We're getting the good.
So it's like dish soap. You like let this burn in.
Yeah, kind of. You want to let it dry.
My floor is gonna be clean as a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be bright and shiny by the time we're done here.
Now you see the difference. Look what this stuff is.
Now I want to go a little bit further because I want to make sure we get a good bond. And these fittings are humongous, guys. So
water will find its way in any way it can. It's almost worse than air.
Yeah, it's always looking for the path of least resistance.
It will come in if there is a way for it to. It will. You have to really attempt to ensure that you have
Give us another little spin up, Livingston.
A full and complete, good, clean seal all the way around it, because any way it will get in, it will. Water does this thing where it levels itself. So imagine your water table's 4 feet below the ground. You managed to put this guy 6 feet in the ground. If you have a leak, that means your tube is flooded 4 feet up.
Yep. And if your tube's only 4 feet, it's pretty full, guys. So
Not only that, it's going to weigh about another, I don't know, 100 more pounds.
Yeah, this thing gets pretty heavy.
And you're going to do all that work to pull it up, and it's going to be junk.
All right, so now we've completely cleaned the end of this sucker.
You read the instructions, or you want them?
No, I got a lesson from a licensed plumber, guys.
You let it dry, you kind of let it
yeah, well, we totally want to let it sit here for a minute.
Primer.
And we want to enjoy a little bit of this PVC primer. It's fantastic. I wouldn't take a shot of it, but
I don't want it.
It's pretty fantastic.
I'm thirsty. All right.
But guess what? We're not done with PVC primer yet because it's time to prime.
It's got acetate. This is basically overpriced nail polish remover. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. And a little bit stronger.
It doesn't smell.
But you definitely want to use PVC primer. Don't let the Livingston Man talk you into
the same shit.
Trying to use nail polish remover and glue your cache together because
this ain't glue.
If it fails, you're going to say...
This ain't glue.
No, that's primer.
Nail polish remover will not glue anything.
There's a chemical reaction that happens when you glue these things together.
Plumber's just mad because they could.
You guys are going to get to see it here in a little bit. It'll actually try and push itself apart when you put these suckers together.
No,
so.
it won't.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just here to play devil's advocate. And as an electrician, I don't trust.
So we're gonna do kind of the same thing here, guys, and we are gonna prime the crap out of this fitting down as far as you can. And when you're doing this with a piece of pipe, guys, you're going to want a nice clean cut on the end. You don't want anything that's like super duper jagged.
The same thing he did to the outside of the pipe, he's doing to the inside of his fitting here because that's going to go over this. And again, it's got to be as clean as it can be.
Yep, to get a good chemical bond.
Adhesion.
All right, we're going to sit this guy down and let it dry.
Smells so good.
We're going to hit this one more time.
Yeah, we're going to hit this shit, all right?
Wow.
Hit me.
Back away from the plumber's glue, Livingston Man.
Well, they said I should drink
So if you guys have any questions in the chat about this process,
we have a new machine, Livingston Man.
Costs or anything, you feel free to type it up. I know I can't read it, but we've got some extra help here tonight. The voice is with us. So out of nowhere, you'll hear this voice. And he's just going to repeat your question. And I think it's pretty cool. So,
the question for YouTube is, can you, I know my voice just sounds like that. Deal with it. Other than that, can you hear us both?
Yeah, is everything good
Everything
on
is
the
cool,
audio
or is this like some BS and y'all are just hanging in there?
Everybody said everything sounds great.
The voice is with us.
Thank you, voice.
Thank you, voice.
Hunter also says to put pepper around your cache to keep the dogs away.
That is great advice.
If you're not polite to your AI assistants, they will rise up against you. I recommend you always say thank you and please to your Alexas, Googles, and voices.
Yep. Otherwise, they'll turn you in.
We basically extracted the stupidest parts you guys really couldn't like about the Livingston Man, and we just put them into the voice. So now all he does is speak facts, and he can't be argued with.
It's very true.
And you're left with me.
This plumber's glue is some serious stuff, guys.
That's why they do it.
Well ventilated, and they mean it. So the next thing we have is the PVC cement. Again, it's low VOC. You want as many VOCs as you can possibly get in this stuff because it's just better with them.
The low VOC, we appreciate that, but it's not what we wanted.
And this is straight from the licensed plumber, guys. So we're going to go ahead and glue the cap on the end of this sucker now. So
we should have just called this video "Buying and Huffing PVC."
It was gifted to me. It was gifted to me.
Being donated.
It was gifted
PVC
to
cement,
me.
Huffing it and stuff.
Now, lots
he's gonna really go ahead and lather that on.
Lots of glue, guys. Lots of glue.
Wow, boy, that's got some.
Yeah, the glue is better than the primer, guys. So, again, please don't do this in your living room. If you do, and your wife absolutely hates you, then you can blame it on me if you want.
She is gonna get pissed, and it kind of drips and stuff. So you good? That looks shitty. Ribkin. I mean,
well, we're not done yet.
Holy cow!
We're not done yet. So we do. Time is of the essence when you mess with this stuff. So,
God damn.
We're putting it on heavy, guys.
It's
Uber
gonna take
heavy.
forever to
Uber
cure, I'm
heavy.
sure.
No, there's a chemical reaction that happens between these
It's a
guys.
fucking chemical reaction.
Oh yeah, it's a chemical reaction.
Feeling stupefied.
So here we go. You ready? Good pressure, Livingston Man. We're gonna push these guys together.
Oh my God.
Then we're gonna give it a twist when we do it.
Wait, okay, look at that. Came out
Twist.
the end, you
Oh,
see
it's trying to push me off the end of it. You gotta hold it nice and tight when you put it together, guys.
about 30 seconds or so, right?
Yeah, about 30. With something this big, I think I'm gonna wait a little bit longer.
That's a hell of a bead you're gonna have around the outside. That's just what you want.
That's exactly it. And in a second here, we'll bring this sucker over to the camera and show you how much glue I actually
Behind this
use.
motherfucker by the time we're done holding this.
Yeah, all
I've
right.
never huffed chemicals with you guys before. This will be new.
Yeah, first time ever on,
see how the AI
on a
takes
live
to it.
stream. Livingston Man, let's walk, if you can still walk.
Maybe.
Let's take this over to the camera. You guys can see all of that. Oh, here we are over here. All of that excess glue right there. Let's turn it over this way just a little bit more. That's not a bad thing, guys. The more, the better, in my opinion. And it's just a tighter seal. And there's less of a
stick your
chance.
finger in it and like do the caulk thing? You're gonna do
Well,
that? No, I don't like.
no, because I need to use my hands tomorrow.
What a crybaby.
So-
And you could have an excuse like, I can't come to work. I got shit all
Now-
over my hands.
If you guys buy into the test plug, like I am, you're essentially done. You have your cache made. Camouflage it. That's another thing we're going to go out and do here in a couple minutes. We're going to yank this sucker right outside, and we're going to camouflage this bad boy.
How long does that shit take to dry? It looks like it's tacking up already.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long.
It's very much sort
Doesn't
of
take very long.
skinned over if you're a painter. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
These things are awesome, guys.
It's already giving off
The
much
toolless
less-
end. This is what I'm going to go with for this one, and it's going to be a test. So
This looks
it'll
alright.
be out in the woods at the spot where we have the live events, and we'll be able to check on it all the time. So it's going to be a great experiment for the channel to have this thing out there all the time and be able to go back and check on it.
This is rather large.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Now-
essentially,
I'm at this point now skeptical. I mean, short of burying, like you dig a post hole, like you take an auger and just ram it in the earth.
so that's one theory.
How do you store such an item? And now I imagine now ramming it vertically will give you the lowest profile,
Absolutely.
but it's very difficult to pull this back out.
Correct.
Especially if it like seasons or winters over some. Essentially, you're probably not getting this back without some mechanical means.
I agree with that.
Whereas now burying it or hiding it more in a horizontal
Or
thing.
or like a hillside where you can pull a little bit of dirt down over top of it and kind of mask it.
I figure you'd want
under
to make
a
something
very
like this.
thin layer?
You want to make this almost look like a log.
Well, kinda. And I think that's something we're gonna do. We bought some rattle cans. We're not done huffing products yet,
Trying,
guys.
but yeah, we got spray paint. We're doing
Yeah,
it.
we got some spray paint for this guy.
Fuck the ozone layer tonight,
Yeah,
everyone.
it's a beautiful day here in upstate New York. It
Bugs came out and we were not happy, but
yeah, it got to almost, what was it, 75 degrees here today.
I got a sunburn, y'all. Look at this shit. That's
Livingston Man's changing colors.
one day out.
It's his
That's one
chameleon
day out.
skin. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I keep forgetting about the lapel mics, and I'm coughing in everybody's ear.
Coughing and yelling. He's like,
Looks.
don't
That's
touch
still, no, we're gonna let it.
it. You fucked it
We're
up.
gonna let it sit, guys. So
Wow, the floor's all slippery, right? Wow.
yeah, just a little bit.
Careful, what floor?
The next thing that we're gonna have to do with this, once this is all dry, is camouflage it and pack it full. So there's a few methods to packing one of these things. Oh, here's the best part about this. It's on wheels. So I'm coming down from the fumes, guys, excuse me.
Yeah, both of us. I had to step away for a second.
You really need, we should have left the garage doors open and we didn't. So the headache later.
Well, not really. I mean, it feels kind of nice. Like right behind my
Hits you right
nose,
behind the
feeling
eyes.
like get that like this warm feeling. Yeah.
Now, if you take your stuff and you just kind of throw it in here, you are putting all of your eggs in this basket, so to speak. The old mutt has taught me that redundancy means everything. So what we're going to do with this sucker is we are going to take a vacuum sealer bag and we're going to cut it the entire length of this thing plus a little bit. So I'm going to pull out a vacuum sealer bag. I know it's crazy, it's wasteful, right? Stay with me. We're going to pull it out the whole length plus a little bit, right? We're going to vacuum seal the crap out of this end and seal it up really well so that everything that we pack in here, we're going to pack inside of that vacuum sealer bag. That way, when we get to this thing finally, and we've dug it out of the ground and we're starving, we get the cap off the end, we grab a hold of that bag and pull the whole entire contents right out onto the ground in front of us.
No trying to drag the whole tube out of the ground. Like,
well, you don't necessarily have to take the tube out of the ground at that point.
You can put the bag back in the tube if you don't need everything.
If you had to. You know, this one's small enough that I would imagine it would be kind of a one and done type of cache. The other one is a little bit larger. So that you could pack a little bit more stuff in and you may be able to leave it and come back to it, guys. You know, just uncover it, take what you need, cap it back up, and then head back on to your bug out location or wherever it is you're going. So to the vacuum sealer, guys, to the vacuum sealer. You ready to take a walk? This might make some of you a little bit dizzy, but
we're going to move. If you've been watching on Facebook, you're used to this.
We're going for a walk. So we're going to head right over here to the old workbench. We've got, let me see if I can get you guys a better view here. Sorry about the movements. All right, there we go. So we've got our vacuum sealer bags here, right? So we're going to take and we're going to cut ourselves one. That's a good bit longer than that. We want a handle. Oh, come on. There we go. Now, ideally, I couldn't find them when I picked them up. Game Saver bags. Game Saver bags are much thicker than regular old Food Saver bags. These are just the standard, what are they, 11 inches wide roll, 16 feet long. So the first thing we're going to do is seal the crap out of the end of this. I'm actually going to do it a couple of times. Redundancy, guys, as much redundancy as I possibly can. So you just wait for the little red light to go out. You guys know all about vacuum sealers. If you don't, I'm sure there's a YouTube page for it. Vacuum sealers are excellent.
It's a sonic welder is kind of what they are. And if you know what a sonic welder is, it uses like a heat generated by high pressure sound waves that actually melt the plastic together. It's the same way they seal your toothpaste tubes and your Capri Suns. Same technology, essentially, brought into the kitchen for us.
Yep. Yep, they're handy. They extend freezer life by, I would say, 6 months over average.
6 months?
Yeah, well, you typically would get 6 months out of something in the freezer.
Are these the good ones? Now, what we did with Food Savers that I thought was great. This one time we went hunting in the Adirondacks and we brought some Food Saver stuff. We made our own MREs, essentially. So we made like our little entree dish, put it in a Food Saver bag, food sealed it. Put it in the cooler, refrigerate, kept it cool, right?
Very good.
But when it came time to cook, you drop the bag and all right in boiling water, pull it back out, cut the top, eat it.
Very
done.
good.
No dishes, burn it in the fire when you're done, and it's a wrap.
Excellent.
These things are very strong too. They can't be, it's very hard to puncture one.
So we've got a few seals there on the end, all the way across. And let's go cut a length of this real quick, Livingston Man. We're going to spin you guys back around here. Sorry about the crazy camera work, folks. But we're back to the bench here.
Oh. You want a few past the end of it?
There, we're back. Look at that.
Let's do 69 inches. I mean,
the Livingston Man.
Just saying.
Take us out, give us a good mark. Perfect.
Just take the foot.
He gives me the dummy end.
69 right there.
Perfect. Livingston Man's got it marked. I'll take the roll. Have you a knife, sir?
The last time it was sharpened was at the last prepper campout, so I don't know.
Would you please cut me here? Cut me, Mick.
Hold it tighter, please. Thank you. A dull knife is a dangerous knife. See what's happening here?
This Livingston man needs a sharpening.
She ain't no
Rough,
razor.
guys. That's rough.
I cut
So-
Christmas lights and shit with it.
This one, definitely gonna stove it all the way in this sucker. Let's check our glue. It's still a little tacky,
I
guys.
recognize the part that ain't attached to like air inside.
Yeah, it's
different-
probably pretty damp inside. So we're gonna wait for this guy to set up, and we might as well start stuffing this,
I don't know if
right?
you guys can see this, but being serious, you can tell the difference in where he primed the PVC if you can
And
see
I'll
that
bring you guys
reflection.
right over to check this out.
See that reflection right where my finger is? This is unprimed. This is primed. You can tell it's shinier. It's like
Yeah, and
bit
you've
more
got that
glossy.
extra bubble in there all the way around, guys.
that's why that's very important. See this rough, dirty? You'd end up with intrusions in here. Your seal wouldn't be good. Clean, but even if it's new.
Correct. Correct. The primer is a big thing, guys. You got to have primer. You got to have the glue. You got to have all of this stuff like ready to go. So we're gonna bring you guys back to the old workbench over here. Let me get this camera right. It was pretty rough before. Sorry, guys. I'm amateur, and the Livingston man's running around with a camera on his head. Plumber's high. Yes. It's terrible, MY Prepper. It's terrible. Thanks for stopping in tonight, buddy.
It's why
But
they
yeah,
do
guys,
the
I
damnedest
mean-
things.
This huge bag. You put a lot of crap in here, guys.
Let's put it up. How many Livingston Mans is this?
This is a one Livingston man bag.
Basically, yeah, this is a one Livingston Man bag. All right.
It's perfection. So what are you guys putting in a survival cache? What are you going to put in there that's going to get you through if you're digging this thing up? Things are pretty shitty. Things are pretty shitty. You don't have food, you don't have what? You don't have anything at this point, right?
You got a bag and a tube.
Correct. So hopefully you have a backpack that you can put this stuff in, or you stuff yourself up a backpack and cram it up in this thing so that you make sure that you have some way to carry this when you get there. I mean, nobody wants to be running down the road with this thing strung over their shoulder and shit hit the fan, showing off all the food that they just dug up. So something to think about, guys. Put a little backpack in here, just enough to take what you need, and then get you back to where you're going. Now, thanks be to Old Mutt, who makes some of the most incredible survival kits that you've ever seen. I've got a whole box of goodies here, and we've got a big old bucket full of freeze-dried food too. So I think the number one thing that we're looking for when we get to one of these is some freeze-dried food. So we've got some Mountain House, we've got some MREs, and we're gonna cram this sucker with enough food to get a couple people by for a day or so. We're not gonna go crazy, but we're gonna throw some ration bars in there too. You know, why not?
Now, if you guys caught I think it was the last live stream. I was yammering on about the dudes that went to Antarctica living off caches.
Yep, the
This
caches.
is what they would find. You've trekked across God knows what, and you can dig this up, and you're out of the woods.
Yeah,
and you've got
some food.
You can.
Ratatouille and mixed vegetables, guys. How can you go wrong? Shit hit the fan, and you dig up some ratatouille and mixed vegetables. You live in the high life. You live in the high life. And again, with the 6-inch tube, if you guys were trying to cram this into a 4-inch piece of PVC, you're probably not going to get very far. You'd have to break this thing down.
You lose your redundancy as soon as you remove this
Packaging.
MREs though are redundant. I don't know if you're not into opening one. You guys know about MREs. You've seen them before.
Yeah, everything's
It's
packaged.
redundant. You can take this off, and everything is still sealed.
Correct.
Just separate.
Correct. In fact, a lot of people will what they call field strip an MRE before they put it into their bag. So
what
you're
I do.
losing all this bulky packaging.
You spread it across your
Yeah,
yourself.
and you spread the weight out. You putting shit in your pockets and you're stuffing it in little pouches in your bag. That's the way to go, guys. You don't need to carry all this extra stuff. So bust it down as much as you can. For this purpose, I want them in the bags. If I'm going to put this down in the ground, I want everything in bags.
These make
And
really good trash bags if you're the type.
if you keep them, yeah.
Yeah, and carrying your food waste garbage is a bit risky if you're especially in bear country.
Correct.
So be risky. In bear country, burn your garbage. Don't carry it on you.
Agreed.
Seal your food. Carry this. If
Yeah,
it's
and
open,
sealed packages,
if
guys.
it's open, eat it and burn it. Don't carry leftovers with you. You'll become the leftovers. Here he goes. We're stuffing a 69-inch bag. Boom.
One.
Hold on a second,
Two.
Michael. I'm going to stop you right there.
All right.
Is this the approved, stacking order?
Not necessarily.
So we're just fitting shit in
To
the
each
bag.
their own.
I
I mean, you're
suppose.
going to pack your cache however you feel best suits your needs.
You're digging up a tube out of the dirt. Worst case scenario.
correct.
What is it that you are going to work that hard to find?
Food.
You want that on the top.
Stop you there.
Well-
Hunter made a good point. He said bury it in sand to both avoid the frost and to decrease the amount of work that it takes to get the cache out.
That's a very good point. Who said that?
Hunter.
Hunter. Yes. If you can dig okay, so we have a 6-inch PVC tube we're burying. Now imagine you probably maybe have either a post hole digger from a farm, say, or an ice auger.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be 8 or 9 inches. So here's the thing. Yeah, that's a great idea. Pack it with a substance that will pull out easily if necessary.
Correct. See, there's different methods, guys.
That's why we're here.
Everybody's
We're trading
head
ideas.
comes together on some of these things, you can actually make them better. You know, sometimes my plan goes out the window, and I'll go with something that you guys came up with and give it a whirl because it sounds like a great idea, and I've never tried it before. Appreciate the comment, brother. That's right on. I agree with that.
I'm still gonna go with I want my food at the very top.
Well, I was thinking maybe we pack some at the bottom,
Imagine it's back.
pack some other survival type items, and then pack some more food on the other end.
Let's keep it going.
And my brother was correct. You don't want to forget your McWick fire starters because they will get it done for you, man. I bet my sweet Bippy on McWick fire starters. Those things are amazing.
Is anybody simultaneously watching on Facebook, and is that even working?
Are you nauseous, the voice? Is the Facebook feed making the voice hasn't spoken too awful much tonight, but I do appreciate hearing Hunter's comment because that was a good one. Sand's a good, I think that's a great idea. I also think maybe like mulch or like wood chips would
Now-
be another good idea.
But okay, now just piggybacking off of what Chief said.
Okay.
Great idea to get it out of the ground.
Yep.
When you yank out, say you've buffered your tube with mulch, sand, what have you.
Okay.
When you pull it out, it's gonna fill the hole. And if you intend to rebury it,
Oh yeah.
all that
that's gonna be
stuff's
a
at the
problem.
bottom of your hole.
So if
So-
you do it vertically like that and you have a setup like this with the bag, the cache tube doesn't necessarily need to come out and even if it's kind of stuck in there, guys, you can reach down in and start pulling some of the stuff out
Let's find out.
as you go. Well, you're not going to be able to reach all the way down in.
You're shoving your whole shoulder down there, which my whole shoulder is, hold this,
Sure. The reach.
I'm gonna call it 30 inches.
Yeah. So
And I
you
cannot
can
reach
down
any
pretty
further
far.
in the thing. This is 69 inches. We are 39 inches over my arm length here.
Yeah. So as you're pulling it up, you're taking this stuff out. Hopefully that's typically what you're going to catch on is that clean out. There's threads in there.
I like the idea of the bag because instead of pulling the tube, restuff the bag.
Correct. And then back down she goes. You never really pull the pipe out of the ground with the bag method.
And if somebody sees you or you think it's compromised, then you just take your bag and leave. They can have an empty tube and that's fine.
So when Old Mutt comes out to Hudson Valley prepping and survival events,
Mike's off camera.
he usually packs for an army. So Old Mutt makes these awesome little survival kits. This is a couple hand warmers, a couple Mylar blankets. Those might get you through a really rough night. That's something that you'd want in your cache. More Mylar blankets. There's a couple of fire starting things in here, and it looks like a small Esbit type stove. Okay, Big Chap says, let's see if I can get that comment back up there. Don't bury in mulch because it heats up as it decomposes. Warming up the food might make it get rancid. Big Chap, that's a great point.
Thank you for that. That's a real thing and it happens.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a little...
It's a baby Esbit stove.
It's a baby Esbit stove. See, the old nut packs for every occasion, guys.
And it's always redundant.
Throw some chicken poo in the mulch, too.
Why not?
Exactly. You know, a small kit like this, small fire tablets, guys, it can really make a huge difference for you. If you've got nothing and you come across this, it's going to work out absolutely fantastic for you. Big time, big time. So this is at some point, you're going to want to put a water filtration kind of device in here.
Okay, good. I don't have to wear that on my head.
Now these guys are awesome, right?
Yeah,
and they're in bags and they're kind of watertight, but I'm going to vacuum seal them again and then put them down. That way I've got the redundancy. If I had my desk camp packs, I would absolutely throw a couple of those in there. Not necessarily oxygen absorbers,
they're not used to,
but I would totally be chucking these things in there as we're going along.
Sorry to anybody who was watching on Facebook. Listen, I don't normally act like I don't work, look, or act like this, but I had a camera on my head and this sucks. Hi, how you doing? Right, if you were watching on Facebook, I apologize. I killed the GoPro, so that's that. Thanks for coming on that. We're here now, keeping it going.
And as we continue to dig through, you're going to want yourself a knife, right? Because at this point, if your daddies are digging up this cache, you're pretty shit out of luck. We got ourselves a little pot here we can boil water in, some cordage. All of these things vacuum sealed and then stuffed into the bag, then stuffed into the cache tube. Redundancy, redundancy, redundancy. And the more of these bags I have, I can use them to collect water. William Alexander said he sees nothing on Facebook. I believe the...
Facebook camera's dead. We apologize.
Yeah, the Facebook camera is toast.
Livingston Man has taken over the
Yeah, the
camera
Livingston Man has taken over my camera. Oh, what do we got here? Another knife. Container. Poncho. I want to just keep... Now, I figure this is going to be for 3-4 people. Maybe for a day or two. Oh, you can put it right back on the tripod, buddy. You don't have to haul that thing around. The Livingston Man's trying to give you guys the action cam. He's probably making you nauseous. Water purification tabs. Great idea. I have a platypus filter, a drip system that I will be putting in here. I didn't bring it with me today, though, guys. Sorry. I kind of tried to throw everything in the vehicle and boogie. Little Yuko candle lantern. Throw that guy in there.
We did a review on that, right? I punched it.
Yeah.
It didn't even break.
I don't know if we ever got that one out to the people.
Oh, there was an outtake video.
Clean canteen, single wall, stainless steel. This one actually has a pre-filter built inside of it. You see that, guys? So this would be more of a dirty water container. And then you would, you know.
That's not what that's for. That's for putting tea bags and coffee in. But anyway.
But great little screen. If you guys are getting water from any place suspect.
Walmart mud puddles.
Yeah, always make sure that you have a clean and a dirty container. Label them as such. That way you don't cross-contaminate your water and get yourself sick, guys. That's the biggest concern, cross-contamination.
You know, you can put boiling water in there and put some hot dogs in there and just bring it with you.
That's very true.
Hot dogs are just giant, well, they're just tiny bolognas.
That's right.
Learn something.
So what's some ideas that you guys have for things that you would want to put in this? Obviously, me personally, I want sense items. I'm going to, if I could, you know, I'd stick a handgun in here, some ammunition, some extra magazines. I would load this sucker up. Let's see, Rapture Ready says, 1 second here. Wait, are you going to put full bag in and then vacuum it if you want to make sure it doesn't suck straight?
Oh, it's gonna suck.
Well, so the bag's long enough that I could theoretically kind of squeeze this sucker into the tube now. And then there's enough sticking out that I'll just bring the vacuum sealer over to it if I need a little bit more room and vacuum seal the whole thing. And put a couple real good seals on the end before I wrap it up and shove it back in there. Again, redundancies, man. As many times as you can seal this thing, as much extra as you feel that you can do for this, the better. Because it's just, you know, you're putting a lot of stuff in the ground, and this is for emergency. And if you show up and it's totally screwed and it doesn't work,
You've wasted a lot of time.
you wasted a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money.
To find out, it's a bit
Michelle
of
the
a
Great
gamble.
says rope. Yes, we've got some cordage and some bank line here. Another Old Mutt special. You guys, if you're feeling these Old Mutt specials, press 1, as the tribe would say.
Are Old Mutt custom kits a thing still?
So Old Mutt custom kits are something that are going to be coming soon. They're hard to get.
Boutique stuff.
And you
It's
guys
good
know,
stuff.
supply chain.
It is not Amazon junk.
Northern Girl Hobby.
It's not Amazon junk.
Northern Girl Hobby says fishing supplies. I agree wholeheartedly. Fishing supplies, rain gear, guys. Simple little throwaway poncho can be the difference between you freezing and you not freezing. Crisco has a lot of uses. Candles, frying, etc. That's a great point, big chap. Prepper jelly. You mean the Spam? That's prepper jelly. I bet you can put a wick in that. He says he knows a guy. Jerky and hard candy.
One in the chat, Livingston Man was indeed wondering, does Spam burn? One in the chat, we do a video.
Yeah,
does
we're gonna
Spam
see
burn?
We're
We'll
gonna see
find
if we
out.
can ignite it. Why not, guys? Why not? It's all for science, right?
At $3.89 a can, I don't know how much I'd be burning it.
Come on, we'll stick a wick in it.
But we do have questions and we want them answered.
So
They
these
said
are
they want a first aid kit and they want socks and mittens in there. You got that?
the kind of knockoff.
It's for it's a
Moras.
fillet knife.
They're a little
Cut the
little
fish.
bit cheaper.
You cut the fish with that thing.
But yeah, they're
Use
bait
snare wire.
snare wire. So, you
Listen,
ready?
everybody, we're moving in. We got things.
I got
You
your
gonna put
snare
that in the
wire.
bag?
I got your can openers. Old Mutt has got what you need.
Hold on,
folks.
Mike. I'm gonna stop you right there. How's that gonna fit? In
Well,
the tube?
obviously you're not going to fit that whole thing in there, but if you need yourself some snare wire, you grab a roll.
Now, what is this here?
This is surplus. I believe they were communication wires once upon a time.
I see. There's two different ones.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the color coordination was.
Mutt, if you're here, can you clarify
Old
what
Mutt.
exactly?
Yeah,
this
I
wires
believe
you
these were old
So this is metal.
They're steel.
This
They're
is
steel
this is
cords.
military grade floral wire. You
Yeah.
girls probably know what that is.
Yep.
You tie your bouquets together with this.
Yeah, this stuff is
Of
great.
good
Trip
names.
wires, correct. They would use it for trip wires. They would use them for all kinds of things, guys. This stuff is awesome. It's handy to have. This is definitely something. Old Mutt, trip wires, correct. So
Maps.
Why the two different colors, Mutt? What's going on here? Honest question.
the voice says maps. Maps are a huge thing. In some caches, yes, you'd want to have maps. In others, maybe not so much. If you're going to put this where you're going, do you really need a map? You're already there. You're already there. You've made it to where you're going. Camouflage, that's a great one. Camouflage, yes.
That's a very subjective term, Mike. We can get really artistic.
Oh
with
man,
that.
you can dive into the camouflage hole.
Camouf-
NY Prepper just did a camouflage video with.
People, is there something camouflage here?
Well, of course.
Of course not right
there's
at hand. All right, so everybody thinks of camouflage as being something that's printed on a uniform and makes you blend in the woods.
Right.
But the true definition, I'd say, of camouflage is that it's right there and you can't see it.
Correct. Blend in.
A chameleon camouflages itself.
Yeah. Again, just like the cache tube guys, if you've got that clean out sticking out of the ground next to a house, a lot of people aren't going to pick up on that. They're just going to walk right by it. They're not going to think anything of it.
It's like you walked into a New York subway wearing an MTA uniform and got away with some shit and nobody even noticed. That was camouflage, what happened there.
A tarp, a shamag, those are both great things to put in something like this, guys. Again, this is emergency kind of stuff. If I had one of those little Henry Survival 22 rifles, I would absolutely put one of those in the ground with this. You can put a whole lot of 22 rounds in that pipe. a whole lot.
You could fit a lot of pistols in here. I believe it's all boils down to what you got and you're gonna willing to put
what
in.
you're going to use, what you're going to need.
Now, can I point out that by burying or hiding or whatever one of these things, making it leave your possession, right? It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
You don't even know that somebody else
risk.
might stumble across it.
You're absolutely assuming risk when you put one of these things out. That's why you're not going to put the highest quality gear in here. You're going to put emergency gear in here. Emergency bivvy, nice and compact. Emergency pop-up tent. That's great advice, Northern Girl Hobbies. Emergency radio and batteries. Exactly, William Alexander. If you guys can put...
Might even be refills for things you already have in your like EDC kit, where you're like, shit, you know, my batteries are running low, this is running low, I'm running out. You can come here to replenish.
Correct. So we've got this thing kind of half stuffed here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to vacuum seal this kind of stuff and this kind of stuff. Doesn't really make too much sense right now, but I do want to put this stuff in here and make sure that we're going to be able to stuff this thing in that cache. The next time you guys see this cache, it's going to look a little different. Obviously, we're not going to make the camouflaging. It's pretty well dark out here now. We've been yapping in here so long.
You would kind of know what it looks like if we showed you what it looks like.
So we're definitely going to camouflage this thing. We're definitely going to be coming back to this cache time and time again. And if you guys come to the Bug Out Bag weekend, you might actually stumble upon this cache and get to check it out for yourselves. Especially if you're in need or somebody else is in need.
Say it again.
If
You're going to hide this
come-
thing at the event?
Correct.
Is that what he just said?
Correct. We're going to hide not only this one, but maybe a couple at the event. That way I've got stuff where I need it, if I need it, or if you need it, if you need it. If your tarp fails, if your food has gone rancid in your bag, there's going to be some of this stuff there for you guys if you really, really need it. Again, not the best stuff, not the highest quality stuff. This is emergency stuff that will get you by in a pinch until you can get to your bug out location. I wish you could be there too, Northern Girl. William Alexander says he's coming. The Spam cook-off is going down. The Livingston Man got himself a cast iron pan, and he's going to give it a whirl.
As for a cook-off, I don't want people to... Don't think we're implying I'm going to cook you all Spam. Can we talk about, if any of you folks are joining us in our Facebook group that we have, listen, that hair is crazy and I know it. Fucking deal with it. The Spam versus corned beef vote came down very close, but come to find out, Spam actually won. And I got questions, because here y'all tell it, everybody hates Spam and ain't nobody eating it. But then give people a choice, and then they vote ahead. They go ahead and they vote, and like Spam actually won. So is Spam like the new kids on the block?
Well,
where, you know, someone was buying their album, but they weren't fessing up to it.
That's very true, right? That's very true.
I appreciate all my Spam, and I love y'all, but like I said, I don't want to imply that like I'm feeding you motherfuckers, because that shit ain't going down. Corned beef all the way. That's my boy. See, these are
Rapture ready.
See, I'm all team Spam, but actually I trust team corned beef more, because they ain't gonna try to steal my shit. Something.
Very true. Very true.
You know, and as well as who is it? It's Big Ed.
Yep.
Is he the militant farmer?
The militant farmer.
The militant farmer, and that mafia don you hang out with the
Billy.
fucking tracksuit.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Billy.
See, they said they want to eat me, so I gotta.
That's
watch
right.
out.
Well, we gave folks the option of Spam, corned beef, or the Livingston Man.
You want to eat this? Look at that. God, look at the hair. Come on. This tells you all you need to know about those two or three.
So I gotta try.
Yeah, but Patty, which one is the Livingston Man?
That's right.
Well,
See,
he's
I'm
like
trying to
keeping this thing.
cram all this stuff down in here. I don't want to compromise any of the packaging, but I want to get it in there, and I want to see if we can get this thing in that cache tube.
It's already turning into a hell of a Christmas stocking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Could you imagine getting this for Christmas, guys?
And it's only half full.
Yeah, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. And it's only half full. And there's a lot of crap in there. There's a lot of crap in there. So even if we can't get it in the wet one, we're going to try and shove it in the other one there. So
now, just to recap, because we got lost on the... Can we stop making the damn live streams about Spam and corned beef? we'll do that. All right. So what do we got in here now? Just to recap.
So we've got 2 MREs. We've got 3 freeze-dried meals. We've got 2 fixed blade knives. We've got an Esbit stove. We've got fire starters. We've got emergency blankets. We've got ponchos. We've got containers, and we've got cordage. We're going to give it a go, guys.
I'm going to say that's like 36 to 40 inches, and we have 69.
Yep. So we'll see if we can get this thing. Let's check our glue first. First thing we want to do is check the glue. We put a lot of it on there. It's kind of tacky, a little rubbery. I don't really want to fuck it up yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the cache that's already built here. We're going to unscrew this monster plug. This one's humongous. This one we could lose people in, folks. It's pretty big. But with this sucker here, I don't know. This is going to be tough.
You're going to put it in open end first?
No. Well, if I put it in open end first, then everything would potentially fall out.
It's when you hit the edge of the pipe, it's going to fight you. Yep, it's going. It's going. Should have lubed it.
That's right. So, take a little finesse, guys. And Old Mutt's method, he goes, guys, the Old Mutt goes all out. He is in there putting paper towels and napkins over every sharp edge so that nothing is going to puncture any of these bags. I've been a lot more reckless than Old Mutt would be. So
this
something
sucks
to keep
holding
in
it
mind,
this way.
guys.
We need a better way.
Well, yeah, you
see what's going on here. This is ridiculous.
And you gotta cram and cram and cram. It works better if you can get it vertical. Petroleum jelly, Rapture ready. You were right on the money with that one. You were right on the money.
Lube it up, man.
So you know what's getting me is those ration bars, guys. Those square freaking ration bars.
Should have made them curved.
Yeah, why can't they make them look more like...
Hello, Lifeboat Supplies, wherever you people are. What the hell's your problem? You can see that this is not exactly the most easiest thing to do.
Well,
but this is very important.
So freaking big, I can't stand it up and drop it in vertically like I want to. Well, maybe we can now, Livingston Man. Let's give it a whirl. See if we can get it vertical.
All right.
Gravity help. Once gravity is working with us.
You should have incorporated like a ramrod.
Like thing's a giant. This is the equivalent of a muzzle loader to a survival cache, right? Oh. So
on my second attempt, I'd be wondering if it'd be easier to ramrod the bag into the pipe and then fill it.
You know, Livingston Man's got himself a point. Hindsight being 2020, I think I would totally put the bag in first and then drop everything into the bag, guys. It's going to prove to be a whole hell of a lot easier than doing this.
The less you have to push on the top here, the worse it's going to get for you trying to bring this down.
Correct.
We're finding this out live.
But you might not get it packed quite as well.
No, you won't be able to stuff it just as tight. You won't.
So now I could totally take this thing to the vacuum sealer right now, take a little bit of air out of it, and it would probably fall right in for me. How hard to get it out? Well, I haven't gotten it all the way in yet, Theta, so
I think it'll come out easy.
Yeah, either that or I'm going to turn this thing upside down and shake the crap out of it. It's going to be like pinata, pinata, pinata. So, yeah, we're almost... Yeah, there you go, block and tackle me. Now, the biggest bear on this right now is the threads on this. Well, we see April 23rd. You absolutely will, Michelle the Great. These will be there for you to check out, and you can mess around with them. And if you need anything out of them, it'll be there for you. So let's see if we can yank this out with any ease. Livingston Man, why don't you grab the rope on the bottom and hand it up to me? I got an idea. You shimmy it up the got an idea.
I would.
Make the
This would work
Livingston
much
Man.
easier if I had two
Here,
hands. but
I'll
the
hold it
camera.
up. Can you hold that?
I got it.
There, let's see if I can pull this sucker out of here. Oh, that's not bad. That was actually incredibly easy to take out, guys. So much harder to put it in than to take it out.
They say the prep work is the hard part.
That's right. So honestly, stuff that bag in there and then start cramming your stuff in. It might be a little bit tough to get as many things in there as we have because things are going to start laying on top of each other, guys, as you drop them in there. So something to think about, folks. Wow, we're at the hour mark already.
Yeah, we've been having a good time, man. It flew
Time
right
flies.
by. It was
Time
that
flies.
that trip we took.
Bounce it. Yeah.
Roger makes a great point. He said tie a rope to the end of the innards of the cache in order to ease your taking it out.
It
Yep.
pulled the bag out inside out,
Yep.
basically.
Teflon grease the thread, says Old Mutt.
Yes. Yep.
Very important advice there. Anything to extend longevity, guys. Redundancies.
The more of those steps you take, the more you can absolutely guarantee your cache is going to be worth a shit
Yeah,
when you
get
return
to
to it.
When you get
Because if
to
it's
it.
not, you have wasted all of it, including what's in it.
So, guys, that's basically the gist of how you build yourself a prepper cache. One of these monster PVC tubes. You can get a smaller PVC tube if you like. Whatever's going to fit your needs. Now, there's other methods of building things like this that we can talk about on another live stream, but I've kept you guys here for an hour. I want to thank all of you for being here. I hope this was kind of informative for you. I hope you learned a little bit, like a military duffel bag. Good idea. Go vertical and bounce it on the sealed end. That's not a bad idea either. Well, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you being here. I'm Mike. This is the Livingston Man. We'd like to thank The Voice for being here with us tonight, too, for shouting out some of your questions. Skitham, thank you so much. Michelle the Great, peace. We'll be seeing you soon. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. And we're out of here, guys. Thanks again.